welcome to another exciting episode of Encountering Jesus, where I invite you to put aside what you know or what you think you know about Jesus and journey with me through an eyewitness account of John's Gospel and to see Jesus afresh. And last time we looked at Jesus being the Anointed One, where Mary anointed his feet with an expensive jar of perfume. And if you want to see that one, you can have a look at the link in the description below. And today we're going to be looking at Jesus as the King of Israel, as he comes into Jerusalem riding on a donkey and everyone is going mad. But as always, if you're enjoying this channel, why not like, subscribe and click the button and you'll never miss another episode. And we're going to be using the New Living Translation, but you can follow along on the screen with whatever translation you like. So we're going to be reading from John chapter 12 verses 12 to 19. The next day, the news that Jesus was on the way to Jerusalem swept through the city. A large crowd of Passover visitors took palm branches and went down the road to meet him. They shouted, "Praise God! Blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hail to the King of Israel." Jesus found a young donkey and rode on it, fulfilling the prophecy that said, "Don't be afraid, people of Jerusalem. Look, your king is coming, riding on a donkey's colt." His disciples didn't understand at the time that this was the fulfillment of prophecy. But after Jesus entered his glory, they remembered what had happened and realized that these things had been written about him. Many in the crowd had seen Jesus call Lazarus from the tomb, raising him from the dead, and they were telling others about it. That was the reason so many went to meet him, because they'd heard about the miraculous sign. Then the Pharisees said to each other, "There's nothing we can do. Look, everyone has gone after him." You know, the prospect of liberation and freedom from oppression is a tremendous hope. And I can remember looking at old black and white reels from 1945 of VE Day, when the whole of Europe was liberated from Nazi Germany and everyone was going bonkers. They were free. The war was over. They were free at last. And the thing is, nothing has changed. 2,000 years ago, Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. This great teacher, this great miracle worker, rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, and he was fulfilling ancient prophecies as he did so. And the people were going nuts, because this was the time of the Passover. This was the time where Israel celebrated being liberated from Egypt after 400 years, when Moses came along and liberated them, and God took them through the Red Sea into the Promised Land. And Passover was the celebration of that, when they were freed from their oppressors. And now they're thinking, we're going to get free again. We're going to kick these Romans out. Jesus is coming on his donkey. They've had it. We've got our new King of Israel, and everyone is going nuts. What are they saying? Praise God. Blessings on the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hail the King of Israel. Well, the Romans are not going to like that, because Caesar was king, Caesar was Lord, and they're saying that this carpenter from Nazareth is Lord. So everyone is going nuts. And the thing is, hindsight gives us 20/20 vision. When we look back on things, we can see the purpose. But the thing is, they don't see the purpose. They've missed the whole point. Jesus has come not to liberate them from physical oppressors, but from spiritual oppressors, from their bondage to sin, from the bondage of sin and the curse of death. And this is what Jesus has come to do. This is why he's going to Jerusalem. But everyone can say, oh, well, he's about to kick the Romans out. But they're totally missing the point. And the question is, you know, Jesus often moves in ways that we don't expect. Have you seen God moving in your life? Have you given your heart to Jesus? Have you opened the door of your heart? Have you invited him in? Because Jesus often moves unexpected. The ways of Jesus are unexpected because he's not coming to conquer. He's already conquered. He's conquered death. He's conquered sin. And we'll look at that in a couple of weeks when we see what happens over Passover. But Jesus has come for a relationship with you and me. He came for a relationship not with just those people there, but a relationship with me now, here, today. And the thing is, with God's plans, it says in Isaiah, God says, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. Basically saying, you haven't got a clue what I'm doing. And they never had a clue of what Jesus was doing as he rode into Jerusalem. Because less than a week later, these same people who are going, hail the King of Israel, these same people will be shouting, crucify him, crucify him. And Jesus, a week later, will be hanging dead on a cross. And the thing is, that would be tragic if that was the end of the story. But God, the Father, has planned this from the beginning of time. He knew all this was going to happen. And he's weaving this wonderful tapestry. He's weaving this grand finale when things are just going to go bonkers. And I mean bonkers in eternal realms, in eternity. Because Jesus, without giving too much away, when he defeats death, he liberates us from sin and death. When he rises from the dead, there you are, I've given it away. There you go. I think you knew anyway. But when he rises from the dead, he liberates us forever. And he opens the door for us to have a relationship with him forever. Because he's defeated sin, he's defeated the penalty of sin, which is death. And he has paid the penalty in our place. And we go free. We're free. We're free. We are liberated from the most cruel thing of all, death, sin and death. And Jesus came to liberate us from it. And that is why he really is not just the King of Israel, he is the King of all creation. So, as always, some points for reflection. What do you know about Jesus that you didn't know before? How has this affected your opinion of him? And what other questions has this raised? And as always, it's all here in the Encountering Jesus book, available from our website. But the point is for us to encounter Jesus, is to encounter him and to see everything he's done for us so that we can have that relationship with him. He did the greatest liberation of all. And the thing was, the devil was laughing because he thought Jesus had lost. But Jesus had won. I don't want to say too much because I'm taken away from future weeks. So I'll leave it. I'll leave it there until we meet again next time.